Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Rick here coming back at you with another episode and video of the journey to £1 million. I think it's episode 14 right now. This kind of just came out of nowhere because I was thinking about some news. A couple of high profile people were coming out in the newspaper that they kind of ran out of money and stuff. I think Mel B, the Spice Girl Mel B, as well as Boris Becker, the famous tennis player and Wimbledon champion, were being told that they had no money and stuff. And it made me think and cast back my mind to a very difficult place in my life last year where I kind of I defaulted on my bank loans and, was basically bankrupt and how this was. But, the fact that this and bankruptcy was probably the best thing financially that ever happened to me. And when my bank said to me, oh yeah, if you default on your, I had no loans, but I had a credit card and an overdraft, massive credit cards, massive overdraft. When my bank said, oh, if you default on this, you won't be able to get any credit for the next 6 years. I was like, great. I was like, yes. And I want to talk about why I said this, some reasons why I said this, and perhaps it's going to help a few people. Because, why was I happy to have the facility of debt taken away from me? Why? And this is what today's video is going to be. So make sure you like the page. Make sure you like the video. Let me know what you talk about. Let me know about you. What are your experiences with debt? Let me know about this because this is a very, very important thing. For many of us living in the UK and in the US and in the developed countries, I'm not sure whether debt has really, really, taken hold in countries, third world countries. I know a lot of my people are watching this from Zimbabwe, South Africa, Nigeria. Thank you, by the way, for your attention. But for a lot of us in the developed world, debt is a lifeline. A lot of people are using it like an old person walking holding a Zimmer frame. This is what debt is like. People are living on debt. So the nightmare scenario would be if you were made bankrupt, or the younger siblings of bankruptcy, like defaulting on loans, having bad credit. On the surface, these things, they're really scary because you're thinking, oh, I wouldn't be able to get a car on finance. You're thinking, oh, I wouldn't be able to, it would interfere with my ability to get a house on a mortgage and stuff. And oh, I can't pay for things on monthly payments anymore. And maybe you're just thinking, you can't get those Christmas presents that you always buy your kids, an iPhone, the newest iPhone every year for your 6-year-old, and I know I'm exaggerating a bit, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. But this series, though, the journey to £1 million, while it's me telling you my journey, it's also born out of a heart to help out others. Out of the painful things that happened to me in my life, I want to help you so that you maybe either can know that there is hope if you are already in this situation. Because I know, see, with debt, there's a lot of us who are in these situations, but we just don't talk about it. I just, had the balls to switch on my phone camera and start talking about it. But there's a lot of people going through it and you're not saying anything to anyone. But those maybe who haven't gone through it yet, or it's not as bad as where I got, or as bad as bankruptcy, but you need this. And this is what this series, why I record this series, why I am documenting this series, to let you know there's hope. I'm bringing a different way of thinking about money, and in this case specifically, debt. So let me tell you something, my friend. Debt is not your friend. Whatever kind of dependency that you now have on debt, going bankrupt is probably the best thing that could help you and that could happen to you, because it will knock that crutch. You're using debt as a crutch in order to live, in order to be able to afford things, and it's not good for you. You need to have that knocked out and taken out from under you, and that's what going bankrupt does. I have a saying that I keep saying all the time, that modern slavery is no longer in chains. Modern slavery is in debt, my friends. And this is why most of us who are middle class, really, I think just the middle class is how the system kind of just gives you enough money so that you can keep on living on debt forever for the rest of your life in order to make their system keep running. So I'm going to come up with a few points. I'm going to present to you a few points and a few arguments of why I think going bankrupt, becoming bankrupt, being declared bankrupt, bankruptcy could be the best thing to ever happen to you financially. So, okay, number one, it forces you back to the reality of your messed up finances. You see, when you start getting letters that you're in debt, and when things, your debt starts running away from you, and you start losing control, the temptation is to put your head under the sand and to say, oh, you know what, let me just try and earn more money at work. I'll work harder and earn more money and pay it off. Or let me just go borrow some more to pay it off. Going bankrupt, however, is when that line of credit suddenly comes to an end and boom, no more. And that rude awakening is really good for you because it makes you face the music and makes you face the reality. I'll, I'll be honest with you. I was that kind of guy. You see, I was scared to talk to people I owed money, and so I would run away from them and run away from them and run away from them. But just like ripping off a bandage, sometimes you just need to talk to these people. You just need to face what's happening. Actually look at what's happening. I find that people who've been bankrupt before, if they do it once, oh, you're not very quick to want to do it again. So that dose of reality, that red pill that you get, is really really good for you. That's the first reason why going bankrupt could be the best thing that could that ever happen to you. Number two, why being bankrupt could be a good thing, is probably a good thing for you, is that you realize that you need to get help. When bankruptcy happens, when your credit becomes really, really bad, when you default on your loans, when you're getting a CCJ, county court judgment, or a court order, it makes you realize that you need help. There is good help out there. There's financial charities, independent, free financial charities that can help. And also you can get a money mentor. For me, I used a combination of these two things. I went to a debt charity called Step Change. I went with them and kind of used them, and I still use them to help me talk to my debtors, and they gave me advice of the best things to say to my creditors so that they wouldn't flip out on me, because I was scared that if I get on the phone with these guys that I own, they'll be like, oh, why have you been dodging us for so long, blah blah blah. But Step Change showed me exactly what I needed to do, and that these guys were all bark, and really they didn't have anything behind them. They made me face up to some of the things. I'll tell you, I had one credit card that I had been running away from for about 8 years. I had a credit card that I had run away from for 8 years. Literally, when I called them, when I finally found out who they were and I called them, and I had to give them my address that I'd moved from 4 addresses ago. That's how they found me. And I was just like, because I'd been scared to speak to them. But the debt charity I was working with helped me to pluck up the courage to really go and talk to people and understand that it's not that bad. You will live, and there are things you can do in order to sort things out. And now, I sort out. I'm talking on good terms with those people. Another thing I did was I also got a money mentor. I realized that I was not in the place I wanted to be. Journey to £1,000,000. I wasn't a millionaire. I'm not, and I'm trying to get there. So I needed someone who has been there, and I started speaking to someone who started giving me a bit of a entrepreneurial approach to money. So whereas the debt charity helps you to get out of debt, but sometimes you also need someone to help you to make money, especially if you want to make money. I needed how to learn how to budget in a way that's specific to me. I needed to learn how to invest and make money and all this, and so I needed someone else as well. This is where my money mentor came in. Maybe you need something like this. The third reason why going bankrupt is probably one of the best things that could happen to you is that, you know, when you go bankrupt, you realize how deceptive debt really is. I would even say how evil debt is. If you thought debt was your friend, you'll realize once you get burned by that debt, you'll realize that these people do not love you. These people are trying to give you credit, but they're not doing it because they love you. You know, Jesus. All right. If you if you're getting the latest iPhone 7 Plus, and your phone provider says, don't worry, we will get you to pay off maybe £200, and then the rest we're gonna put it for you over 24 months. They're not doing that because they love you so much in order to get you to have the latest gadget in your hands. No, they're doing it because they know that way they're gonna have your money over 2 years, and they'll probably make more money from you. So it is with any other debt. When a company says, oh, buy now, pay later, they're not doing it because they love you. Debt, on a very technical thing, debt is something that's created by the rulers of this world system in order to create kind of a false liquid economy. So money is just flowing. Debt allows money to flow without actual money flowing. So, you'll find that in the world economic system, there's probably only about 10 to 15% of the money that's flowing in the system is actually hard cash, hard money. The rest is debt, and credit and all this. Now, if you have consumer credit, you are on the bad side of this, because in the system there are winners and there are losers, right? There are people who understand how this debt works, and so they make sure people owe them money at all times. And then if you have consumer debt, you are on the loser side. You are on the loser side. Trust me, I was on the loser side for a long time. Wake up and get yourself back on the winning side. Don't be a financial loser. And going bankrupt could be the way that goes oh, damn, I'm on the wrong team. I need to move teams right now. Realize that, debt is a very deceptive thing. The fourth reason why becoming bankrupt could be the best thing for you, the best thing that could happen, that ever happened to you, if it's happened already, is that when you're bankrupt, you are forced to become frugal. You're forced to be frugal. And that brings you back in control of your money. Guys, frugality, being frugal, understanding how to live on, within your means, cheaply, that's the forgotten virtue in a world that's full of false prosperity. Going bankrupt makes you drop pretenses. I used to pretend, man. I used to live a life where I used to just hey, look at me. Hey, look at us. Hey, do you walk around, I used to go to a lot of parties with loads of my friends. We used to go to parties, and we needed to make sure that we were wearing the latest outfit, the best outfit. We needed to make sure that it had been tailored. Like if I was wearing a Nigerian outfit, I'd make sure that it was tailored by the best. It was the best material. Do you know what I mean? It had to be like that. But after going bankrupt, I looked at that and I was like, damn, man, what am I doing? I can't afford this. I can't afford to be spending £50 on a shirt and trousers that I'm only gonna wear once or twice, maybe 3 times. No. And I very quickly divorced myself from the opinion of other people where it came to money, and I became frugal. I'll tell you a funny thing. I just got a haircut, looking so fresh and so clean. As fresh and clean as it goes. But do you know what? My haircut is now in a budget. It's in my budget, and I'm going this month, I'm going on my haircut. Do you know what? If I look at my hair, it's oh, it's a bit long, but I look and I say, oh, well, I'm not getting paid for another two weeks, and the money I have is not for haircut; it's for other things. Do you know what? I will go get my comb, and I will comb that hair I'll make it look presentable, but no, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm. Some of you may say, oh, but yeah, Rick, you can just cut your own hair. Now that's your thing. I can't cut my own hair. My head is already too round anyway. I'll just look crazy if I cut my own hair. But I stay within my budget. I stay within my budget for something as slow as simple as a haircut. If you learn how to live within your means, all these opinions that people have of the cars you should drive, where you will not be embarrassed when you step up to work in the bus, because you're like, boy, I can't afford to be getting all to be paying all these MOTs, all these insurance for this car. I can't afford that. I'm gonna take a bus from now on. You won't be ashamed, because you will know that, hey, I've just gone through some stuff with bankruptcy. Yeah, I ain't gonna get bankrupt because of cultural pressure, because of peer pressure. You'll start to think that. And the last thing, number 5, the last reason I'm going to give you about why bankruptcy is probably the best thing that could happen to you. It was definitely the best thing that happened to me financially, is that bankruptcy forces you to think for a change. It forces you to stop and think. One thing I'm always saying is that we get in trouble because we don't really think deeply about what we're doing financially. But bankruptcy, if you let it, is just an opportunity for you to go, wow. Stop, put your mind reset your mind, take a look and say, hey, what's happening about this? It stops you in your tracks and makes you reevaluate things. You begin to rethink, how you got there in the first place. You start to think about, what are the things that I really need in life, and what are the things that I don't really need? And it makes you start to think. You even reevaluate what you do for a living. This is what happened to me last year, man. I got to a place where I was bankrupt, down at the bottom, like literally like sleeping on a sofa. And I just stopped. I stopped anything that was coming out of my bank account. I sat down and I started really thinking about these things. I changed my career because I realized that, okay, I've been doing this, but that wasn't, it made me stop and think, oh, maybe I need to be doing something that's in my calling and in my passion. I want to make money a different way now. I want to make it in a way that I'm happy with. And, it made me rethink. This is how, Journey to £1 Million even started, because I reevaluated. And when I learned a few things, I was like, wow, there may be other people who are going through this. I need to start talking about this. You'll reevaluate, and perhaps some good things will come. Because if you keep on doing the same thing, guys, if you keep on doing the same thing, you'll only get the same crappy results. That time to think is really important. There's a temptation, and it will take everything in you in order to stop and reevaluate, because everything inside you is saying, go find another job, go do something, go get help, tell people. And you start running around like a headless chicken, going like, oh my god, when you get these letters of debt and bankruptcy, saying, oh my god, and you could make a really bad decision. You could end up going to loan sharks and getting money that you shouldn't have been, even playing with things that you should not have been playing with. And I just want to say, guys, that no, when you sit down, calm down, breathe, you realize that it's not the end of the world. There are things that you can do. There are people who can help you. There are ways in which you yourself can pull yourself out. It's not the end of the world. Debtors will not kill you. The bailiffs will not kill you. You will understand that you have rights in this situation. When you have debt, there are things you can do. So guys, I'm really grateful that you gave me this time. It was a bit of a long one, but I hope it was really helpful, and I hope it resonated with you. Again, make sure you like my page. I'm always doing these videos. I'm always doing articles with it as well. I hope you really, really enjoy them. You read them, follow me, see some more, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.